Welcome again to MotherToSonCooking.com. This is another one of my mother's favorites that she used to make when we were growing up. Swiss steak with nice mashed potatoes and green beans on it, and the sauce is to die for. I've kind of made a version of the sauce before, but we'll get into that. But anyways, let's go over some of the ingredients here. You've got mushrooms, you got carrots, you got onions, you got celery. If you notice, I've got the same amount cooked down. That's going to go on the sauce. That's going to be the vegetables on the top. We have garlic here, the bell pepper. I got a little bit of chicken stock over there, and I like to bring the cans out so when we're going to come over and show you how to brown the steak. Over here, we've already got all the vegetables cooked up, and over here, a lot of times I'll cook the stuff in oil and butter and whatever, but I prefer a little bacon. When I had about 5 strips of bacon, so I slice it down. Now the reason I slice this down before I put that in, if you put the vegetables in, the bacon won't cook. Now, we're ready to do a little bit of sauteing. I got the bacon rendered down, it's cooked out. What I like to use these little scrapers right here. It makes it real easy. I'll make a little bit of a mess, but not near as much as I would. There's the bell pepper. There's the celery. And you notice that I did cut them up 2 different sizes. This way this thing will come back in and cook a little bit faster. This is going to be in the basis of the sauce. The rest of the vegetables, we're going to cook that when we come back and cook the steak over the top. So I'm going to leave the garlic out for just a little bit. I'll add a little salt and pepper, and we'll saute this down. It'll take maybe 5-8 minutes. All we're doing is just getting the vegetables soft. Now, like I was telling my son just a second ago, making this is almost like wok cooking. If you got everything prepared before you start and everything, I mean, the recipe goes real quick, just like it does with wok cooking. If you come over here and look, you can see that the vegetables are sauteed down a little bit, and what we're trying to do is they'll cook a little bit more even. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the whole pan, dump it in there, and you can see this is going to make a lot of good sauce. I'll move this over here for a second. Let me take this over here. Now I showed you the tomatoes. We're going to take the tomatoes, dump them in, and what we're going to do, we're going to let this cook down for about 2 hours. I had 2 cans of tomatoes. The mushrooms. I got that there. Come over here and look how good this is looking. Now you can see we're a little thin on the sauce and everything, so I've got a can of tomato puree. Let me get a little bit of, now I've got some chicken stock already made right here. We're just going to take the chicken stock. That's what, about 2 cups of chicken stock. Now we're going to add the salt and pepper, which I added before, but you always re-season stuff. About 2 pinches of salt. Okay, then where is it? Over here. A buddy of mine is into herbs and that type of stuff. He gave me this. If you're lucky enough to have it, it's basically a Mexican oregano. This one doesn't need a lot of spices in it because you got all the vegetables. See, I'm just kind of peeling them off in it. However, look, I don't have a lot in it. So that's the basis of the sauce, which I think is the most important thing of it. What we're ready to do, this is a round steak. You buy them in the store, they're not very thick. This is about 1.5 inch round steak. I have the butcher cook it, cut it to my size. One of the things that if everybody should do when they're tenderizing your tough pieces of meat, this is a little punch that just adds all the little holes in it. I've kind of tenderized quite a bit of it already. Now I'm just going to salt and pepper it a little bit on both sides. I'll come back in. I've got about a cup and a quarter of flour. We're just going to come back in. What we're doing, we're sealing the flavor of the meat in. Salt and pepper on it. Doesn't take a lot of spices because you have so many of the vegetables that are going to mix the flavors. Alright, we got that side. And you can see I got a nice little coating, brown coating on the flour coating on it. Turn it over, get it again. Now it's about 1.5 cups. And as soon as the pan gets hot, we'll come back and show you how to serve it. From here, all we're going to do is just sear this. You can see I've got it nice and coated. Just going to take a few minutes. Come on over here and you can see I've got the steak with a little crust on it and everything. It's nice and where it's going to hold some of the flavors. And I have a pot right here. That's about almost a 3-pound little piece of round steak that's been cut thick. We've come back in and we've got a little bit of the sauce that's going on top. Yeah, you can see I just kind of covered it a little less than to the top. We're going to throw all the vegetables in, which is the bell pepper, onion, and celery, and the carrots. Now I'm going to put just a little bit more in. Now we'll stick that in the oven for 2.5 to 3 hours. The sauce, we'll let that cook. We'll make some mashed potato and beans. This will be enough to feed a nice family of 4 to 6 with a little bit of leftovers. With the sauces and everything, I switched pans to make it a little bit better. I put all the vegetables in. You can see how they've caramelized and everything. This is the sauce that's going to go over the top. A couple things I like to do on this. You don't need that much sauce, but you want all this good stuff to go. So I just kind of scoop it out like this. It's got the carrots. It's got a little bit of mushroom in it. And you can see all the good stuff that you can put on top of it. Take a little bit more out. Well, we might as well get it all out. We'll give it to the neighbors what we don't eat. Alright, now you can see reducing this down. Quite a bit of the juice has run out of it, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to come back over here. We're just going to pour a little of these juices in it. That's kind of the gravy that goes on the top. Come back in, you can see it's, come over and take a look now. You can see it's got some of the juices in it. And guess what? We got some mashed potatoes on. That'll go over the top. This will go over the gravy over the potatoes. And you've got a nice meal that'll probably feed 4 real healthy people, maybe 6. So,
how do you tell if the meat's done?
Oh, you come over here. It's been about 3.5 hours, and you can see right there how it's just twisting and falling apart. But we cooked it about 3.5 hours in the oven. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces of mashed potatoes. Doesn't get any better than that. I learned this from my mother, and I'm hoping I pass it on to y'all.